How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good now. I had a migraine earlier, but got
Oh,
rid of
not
it.
good.
Yep.
Not good.
Interestingly enough, um, because my nose was kind of stuffy, and I think it may have been because of low blood oxygen. Because I went out to get some dinner, and while I was like walking out to my car, I just took some really deep breaths through my mouth, and it started making my head feel better. So like
Oh,
whole way there, I was taking deep breaths and
are
my
you
head.
sensitive to the barometric pressure as well?
Yep, that is my main trigger.
Yeah, because with this weather.
Yep. So in other news, I got my sliding glass door installed and I love it.
Nice.
Yay!
So the whole project is done and now I'm very poor. I have a whole year to pay it off and it doesn't start until January.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
And on the plus side, our dear illustrious smuggler captain may be
And I'm
getting.
sure since these new windows, they'll have a cost-saving measure in helping keep your heating and cooling inside as opposed to leaking.
Yep. Yes, absolutely.
You hear me?
Hey, we can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Dang. Bang a rang.
And our illustrious captain may be getting a little schnookered by the end of the night because you got some freshly bottled Viking's Blood mead with some frozen
He,
cherries.
he's plying
Ooh.
me with alcohol.
Mmm.
Where does one acquire said mead?
Jim made it.
You make it and then you wait for a torturous 6 months for the process to
Yeah.
finish.
Oh yeah, I know. I know meat takes a long time, and 6 months is on the short end. I've heard people going 2 3 years before popping a bottle open.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice and spicy.
It's got a nice warm. It's got a heat to it, not just the alcohol burn, but a really nice heat. Of course, I also made this batch. It was cherry juice because Viking's Blood is really just cherry juice with 2 pounds of honey instead of 3 pounds of honey, and I threw in a bunch of dried cherries as a little
Mhm.
kicker, and they worked quite well.
Nice.
And of course, I added like a 8 ounce cup of tea because it gives a little mouth feel and of course I'm serving it with frozen cherries, so it's not of course diluting the flavor, but cooling it and giving alcoholic cherries.
Nice.
Okay, what is going
And I
on?
just cracked the seal on the regular mead that was brewing alongside it. Though I really, really would want to use this nice Killer Bee vanilla honey that I've got. I want to see what that's going to come out like.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
But I gotta find a place in the house that will stay constantly warm so the little buggers can do their job.
Mhm.
Don't want to do the whole yo-yo with the temperature.
So buy a space heater with a temperature set on it.
I have the next best thing. I've got a 200-gallon fish tank kept at 80 degrees.
Ah, there you go.
I have a little tiny nightstand right below it, so the warmth will waft upon it and should keep it about 75.
Nice.
Of course, that's what it's been keeping at when Kelly has the AC set to 70, so I may have to
Never
move.
usually quite that low. But he knows that I don't like to have the heater turned on. So
Mhm.
And of course, I've got an apple and a cherry wine that's just finishing up that could be drinkable now. And these are just for home drinking as opposed to the fancy name bottles that Kelly came up with that are in the back fridge.
One of these days I should start brewing mead myself. Now I know someone I can talk to figure out how to do it.
And since right now the honey prices are at their best, it's a good time to buy.
Yeah, but I would need to buy everything, and I just spent a ton of money. So,
Yeah.
not to mention, I'll be spending a ton more money. I've got about another $5,000 that I want to spend over the next several months.
Well, I hear
On-
complaints.
So I'm going to have some concrete work done in my backyard. I'm going to have some
Ah.
vegetation planted in my backyard, which means I need to have irrigation in my backyard. And then I'm going to buy new patio furniture like what Karen and Tony bought.
Mhm.
And that alone is going to be a good 20 or $2,000.
Those were chairs were surprisingly comfortable.
And that they are. Yeah, I don't like my fire pit area, so I'm redoing it.
Gotcha.
And the best part is now is when you can actually enjoy it the most.
True that. Yeah, so I'm looking at doing that in Q1 of next year, and the concrete work will be done first. And then all the other stuff. Oh, and I need to get an electrician in.
Oh no.
Nothing bad. I just want to have an outlet installed on my back wall where there's currently a wire coming out into a conduit. So they should be able to easily put an outlet there. And then I'm going to mount a converter for landscape lighting.
Ooh.
So I can put some lighting in the backyard and yeah. So, and then the grand scheme, which will, come probably later in the year or even in 2023, is I'm going to put in some waterworks in the backyard. I'm going to have a raised pond that rolls down a waterfall through a creek that will go under a bridge and to another little pond area.
Ooh, that'll be
Are you
nice.
going to get fish like koi or something?
Definitely not going to get koi, because while I would love to have koi in there,
They're
I started
tricky.
doing some research, and they're ridiculously expensive.
Hmm.
Or you just start with the cheap Shibukan goldfish from the pet store.
Actually, I had this great idea today when I was talking to a friend about it. I have to research it a little bit, but I think it would be freaking cool as hell to have piranha.
Piranha.
Now you don't have any washes near your area, do you?
I do, right behind my house, but why?
Because there may be some environmental issues if you have a wash where your water could overflow into their water. That's the
Oh, it's not.
only issue.
It's like it's not a wash. It's an overflow, because I
Mhm.
live in a floodplain, as almost everyone does in Tucson. But
As southern Arizona, yeah.
yeah.
But be mindful of the native Arizona birds love ponds with fish in them. I just want to warn you.
Good call.
Friend of ours that set up a IBC aquaponics system had a blue herring move into their neighborhood because they had tilapia in their tank and goldfish.
Nice.
Yeah, that heron was very persistent.
I, of course, being the bad human being I am, said that I would go out there in the middle of the morning and take care of it with, a nice, good pellet rifle. But that's just me. When you see the first $100 worth of fish get eaten, you're like, oh, that sucks. When it cleans out all of your breeding pairs, that's when you're just like, something got to be done.
Oh, interesting. So I could buy piranha as cheap as $10.
And they breed just as easy as cichlids. I mean, they're
When I
practically
was
cousins.
when I was a kid, my brother had a friend from high school, and we went over to his house once, and he had a pet piranha. And dispelled for me at a young age the myth that exists around piranha, because we're sitting there talking and he just reaches over, sticks his arm in the tank, and starts petting his piranha. And it was like, whoa, it's not tearing his arm off.
Just
But the
giving him fish
fish
kisses.
let him?
Yeah.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's different breeds of
didn't
piranha
run to the
do
other
different
side of the
things.
No, it didn't.
Because
Huh.
a lot of people hand feed when they actually get the meat-eating piranhas, they hand feed them, so they get used to coming to give fish kisses. And there's also a breed of piranha that only eats vegetables. So you can sit there with leafy greens and feed them that.
Okay.
Dang. Some species can reach up to 24 inches in length or longer.
Yep. You know, think about it. They're distantly related to bass. I mean,
Yeah.
the only difference is they have those really, really nice teeth.
Yep. True that.
I mean, and of course, you know, we've been told that they'll strip a man bare in a minute, but that's also speaking of like 300 of them that have been starved and there's finally food.
Well, and even then, they aren't likely to attack a human because they are easily scared, especially by our size.
Mm-hmm. And they're really just carrion eaters. I mean,
Yep. Big scary human, run away, run away. Meanwhile, big scary human is thinking, oh Jesus, look at those teeth.
but the problem is nature evolved it to only move in one direction.
True that.
I mean, if you're living in piranha country, I'd be more worried about the snakes.
Damn straight.
Did that snake just carry off 3 of our children and a goat? Yes, it did.
Yeah, and I take after Indiana Jones there. I hate snakes.
I don't blame you.
I mean, especially when folks are saying, oh yeah, the anacondas are slow until you see them catching bats in mid-flight.
Anaconda will hunt you.
Mm-hmm. Anaconda's a jerk.
You know who else are jerks in the animal kingdom? Turtles. Turtles are jerks, man.
Snapping turtles will try to bite each other's faces off.
They'll try to bite each other's faces off. They'll grab shit from the edge of the water and pull it in and drown it. And they're vicious little fuckers. The holidays are just around the corner.
Yes, they are.
Why, thank you, Lego.
I'm like, how late is David running? He knew we were gaming at 7. He specifically asked when we were starting.
So
He probably went for Taco Tuesday.
Ah.
And then he meets people there, and then he has a beer, and then they buy him a beer, and then he buys them a beer. And
Well,
maybe.
if there's any more of
Maybe
the
not.
Marine birthday, brew, they got to drink that, right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
So Kelly,
Yes.
when are we doing Churrasco again?
Actually, we're doing it for my nephew's birthday.
we are? When are we doing that?
It will be
We'll just add one more and get him in there.
Tell Kira to up the reservation. Because it's a Ron Swanson themed birthday. It's the 26th, I think. The 26th. Because his birthday is the 27th. I think they have reservations for the 26th.
That's a Sunday.
I know.
I should
I'll double
probably
check with Carrie.
I should probably adjust my calendar for that. What time are we planning this dinner?
I don't know. Let me
Speaking
text
of
her.
meat-eating creatures that eat fast.
But doesn't stand. That doesn't necessarily mean we can't do it more than we know.
Oh, I just figured because I may have to cancel my Star Wars game that I told the guys last night. I think everything's fine to have it happen the day after Christmas.
Are we?
One does not go for all-you-can-eat Brazilian meat fest and then go to game afterwards.
Wait, say that again. What about Meat Fest?
One does not go to all-you-can-eat Brazilian meat fest and then go to game right afterwards.
True story.
You would fall asleep.
Be like, guys, I'm
I
sorry.
texted Carrie.
Hi.
What day and time we're doing Trevor's dinner. But whether she responds tonight is the question.
Hey, she's more likely to respond to you than any of us. Maybe I should just respond to her. If you don't respond back, I won't clean off the laundry machine next time. Especially now that the washing machine is covered with brewing stuff.
Do that at your own risk then. She might get cranky. So if she, she should be responding, but I think it's the 26th or the 26th because she did tell me she has a blood test the next day.
Ooh, that's bad timing.
So, I know, that's what I said.
So your cholesterol's going to be through the roof. Your fatty meats will be high.
She told me to remind her to hit the salad bar instead of just doing all meat. And I'm like, I'll just do all meat, thank you. And those lovely little cheese rolls. 26th, 5 p.m. She just responded.
So Gunter, are you free on the 26th at 5 p.m.?
Do I need to tell Carrie to set another reservation?
I'm not crashing a birthday party.
Oh, Ron Swanson birthday party. I get a kick out of it. One year they did an Office birthday party for him, from the TV show.
Yeah.
So this time it's Parks and Rec, specifically Ron Swanson, because of course he's the best character. Okay. All right.
And that right there is why I don't do online dating.
Excuse me? And what segue?
So I'm sitting here reading some random news while we're waiting, and some chick met a guy on Facebook, and when he came over to her house, she mowed him down in the front yard.
Okay.
Now, it's a Facebook story, so I gotta ask, did she actually use a lawnmower, or was it a firearm-related incident?
No, firearm related.
And did she say why?
Taco Tuesday?
Hang on, I'm reading.
Did you happen to live in Florida?
No, Milwaukee. Yes, continue reading.
Sounds like a very angry woman.
Ah, it sounds like you've fallen for the clickbait.
Oh, there's that guy that shot his ex-girlfriend and his ex-wife on FaceTime or whatever. Some weird
Oh my
thing.
God.
Humans are cool.
But it seems a little strange to do it with somebody you've not met yet. You invite them to come over and then kill them in your front yard.
Well, I mean, everybody's got to go eventually.
Some
Oh,
people just gotta deserve a killing.
No, she didn't actually shoot him.
Oh, see?
She
I call clickbait.
she stabbed him 3 times, then got in his car and proceeded to run him over 3 times.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's child's play. I think there's a whole movie where somebody did that.
There was the TV show, Mr. Mercedes.
Maybe she has one of those trees that you plant in a graveyard, that the Death Eaters or whatever. Maybe it just needed some food.
Okay
They're very
then.
poisonous. I can't remember. I'll look it up now. Well, they planted them. Okay, so the reason they planted them, it was like a long time ago, is because like they help break down the bodies before you start putting them in boxes and stuff like that. And then it was considered rude to have your livestock tramp across the graveyard. So they would plant these plants. That way, if someone did and they ate the plant, they would get sick and or die. And so that's where the whole thing came from. Now I can't remember what they're called.
Okay then.
Some random fact I have in my grave. You're welcome.
Them good old timey traditions.
So, in Cowboy Bebop, the live action got canceled after 1 season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Not even a month after it came out.
Yeah, I can't say I'm too surprised. I mean, it'd been forever since I watched Cowboy Bebop, and so I watched it and I was like, this isn't that bad. But then I started watching Cowboy Bebop again, the anime, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see why people were saying this sucks.
Yeah, but I thought they did a good job of extrapolating some of it into a live action for the anime. And although I still hate the casting that they did for Vicious.
Yes, absolutely.
It was just terrible. It was a
Acted
terrible
and
choice.
written and acted poorly.
Yeah.
You know, and
I mean,
going
all they
back
did was make him look crazy, not vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, part of the thing about Sid Vicious was, you know, and I haven't watched all of it again yet. And like I said, it's been 15 years or so since I've watched it, but he didn't even appear until episode 5 in the cartoon, and even then, you got like 1 minute of him.
Yeah, it was just cameo teasers, you know.
Yeah, he was a mystery.
Yeah.
And so for them to introduce him at the very beginning of the series and then just make him this complete whiny nut job.
Yeah, it was
absolutely awful.
Feel sympathetic to me.
And so the other thing that bugged me was that Faye Valentine, like in the live action, seems to genuinely care about the crew right from the get-go.
Which is total. That's total 180 of what her character.
Yeah, in the show, she only cares about herself.
That was the whole thing of her character arc in the show, is she fucks them over on an episode basis.
Yeah.
Of course,
though I have to say, I like her costume way better.
True.
She is your true chaotic neutral character.
She's like, hey, I stole your ship. Hey, I took
Although
your food.
I kind of like the version of her backstory in the with the mother as opposed to the
just the corporation.
Well, the guy that, you know, screwed her over. And I thought it was more interesting. But I'm just really sad that we really only got that teaser of Radical Edward.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. That's what upsets me the most.
I
is-
was so, I'm like, the whole time I'm like, well, when's Radical? And then they only allude to Radical Edward in one of the episodes.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yep.
like, one of the episodes that Radical Edward was key on. And then it was like, but then at the end, I was like, ah. And then to find out, nope, you're not going to get any more. Like,
Nope. I wanted more Ed, damn it.
mm-hmm. Yes, indeedy.
But on the plus side, at the very least, there's a whole new generation that will watch the live action and want to know what everyone's complaining about that's complaining, and they'll go watch the animated series. You know,
Mm-hmm. Which was really
Well,
good.
it was so funny. I was finally gonna get Kelly to sit down and watch the DVDs that I've got, and Netflix had it.
Yeah, so I binged it
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Nice. It's a lot
Because
of
I'd only
nice.
caught a few episodes before. Of
Mhm.
course, my favorite being the refrigerator.
That's my favorite one.
Can't remember the name of it.
Oh, David's almost here.
And I'm always a big fan of Ein.
Yes. And of course, this weekend I also binged the third season of Lost in Space.
I just finished it.
Dude,
I like the
What
way
did
they summed it up, you know.
it is Toys in the Attic is the episode, by the way,
Toys in the Attic,
with
yeah.
the refrigerator monster.
Mm-hmm.
Could totally see that happening. Just saying. And one thing that did bug me is the animated series compared to Faye's, finding the VHS cassette. In the animated series, there was that massive hunt to find a VHS.
Find a player.
VHS player.
Yeah.
Whereas in the animated series, they just kind of looked at it and immediately found one.
Yep.
It's like there's kids nowadays that would look at those and go, "What is that?"
They have
Yeah.
no idea.
Exactly.
Oh, he says he's coming on.